We've done quite a few rustic fall designs, and now we're going to transition that same feel into a Halloween design. Let's get started. I'm just adding some Liquitex gesso as a base coat in a nice oval shape using the shape of these rocks, and this is going to be the base coat for my color because the rocks are a little bit dark. This one's a little bit dark, but it just helps have nice color. These are two new colors that I got from Hobby Lobby. I was looking for kind of a sage and a light pink, kind of a muted pink, muted green, because I wanted them specifically for this design. So I'm going to base coat one with the green and the other with the pink. Now I'm going to use a chalk pencil to outline my ghost. So I'm starting with just kind of a rounded top, and then I'm going to draw two little knobs kind of where my ghost hands are going to go, and then the rest of the body. And I'm going to use this antique parchment paint, so it's slightly off-white. So this kind of plays into the rustic idea. I don't want bright white. This one is just barely slightly off-white, so that's what I'm going to use to fill in my ghost. And I'm going to fill this in with a larger brush that can get more coverage at a time, and it did take a couple of coats to get the solid coverage over the ghost. And because it took a couple of coats, I wanted to make sure that that dried adequately. And while I was waiting, I had this other stone that I had base coated with the green, but it was more round, and so it didn't really lend itself to the ghost shape. So I had this idea, ooh, what if I took a disposable eyeliner brush and the parchment paint and made a rustic spiderweb? So I used this stone, and this was while I was waiting the other one to dry. So it's kind of a bonus design in this video that I wasn't originally planning on. Custom mix a dark gray paint by mixing this elephant gray with a little bit of black paint, because I don't want stark lines because the design has kind of muted colors, so I wanted a dark gray for these lines. So I'm gonna add a line across the front of the ghost. This is kind of the string that the sign is going to be hanging on, and then I'm also going to use this same gray for some little ovals for the eyes and a smile on the ghost. I'm going to come back to my chalk pencil just to help me space out my little pendant triangles, and then I'm going to come back with pink paint on the two end pendants and make two triangles, and then come back to the middle and make a green pendant. So this is going to be the little sign where we put BOO. And I'm not going to worry too much if I overrun onto our dark gray string, because I'm going to come back and clean up that string after the pendants are already on here. I'm also going to use that same pink paint and a dotting tool and add a couple of little rosy cheeks on the ends of the smiley face. And I love how in this design all of the colors kind of tie together. They just work so well together. this was probably the hardest part of the design. I went back to the dark gray paint with the disposable eyeliner brush because it's nice and thin. And then this is where I put the letters onto the pendant. So I struggled to write it as evenly as I would have with a pen, but I think it worked out in the end. I did an initial kind of shape of the letters and then went back and kind of cleaned them up and thickened them up. Now I'm going to come back through with that parchment paint and kind of draw an oval on top of the part of the string that's at the end of the ghost. This is their hand holding the string up. So it's kind of an oval shape, and then we'll come back and give it a little more definition and outline so it's more clear. I'm also going to come back to that dark gray paint and add 2 little strings coming off of the hands on the end so you can see that, the ghost hands are holding this sign up. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the parchment paint and a dot of the dark gray paint and mix it together, and this is going to be a really, really light gray paint that we're going to use to add a little bit of dimension and outline to the design. So I'm going to start with the ghost hands so that it gives a nice little clear picture that those are little ghost hands holding this sign up, and then I'm going to add some lines to the bottom of the ghost that kind of show those wrinkles and folds where the bottom of the sheet is. And then I'm taking kind of a damp paintbrush and going over those lines to kind of mute them a little bit more so they're not definite lines, just kind of blending them a little bit with that damp paintbrush. And then I'm going to go around the entire design with this same light gray color and also the damp paintbrush to kind of blend it in to the ghost. Now that spiderweb is not to be abandoned because it was a little too plain with just a spiderweb, so I'm going to add some of my signature spiral flowers to this. So all it is putting some little circles of different shapes in the same light pink that we used on the ghost, and then I'm going to come back through with a slightly darker pink and my disposable eyeliner brush to kind of swirl in some petals, and then I custom mixed some of the green paint with a little bit of a darker metallic green paint to create something slightly darker to create some leaves and little curlicues off of the flowers. Like I said, this rock was completely random and not planned with this design, but I love how these 3 rocks came out together. I think this might be one of my favorite designs all year. I sure hope you enjoyed this design, and I can't wait to see what color combos you might try with it. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch. Take care, and I'll see you next time.